The Supreme Court is breathtakingly corrupt. It is unacceptable. It is depressing. And it is time for all Americans to get their head out of their rear ends and realize how dangerous these 6 people are and why our vote matters, because an incompetent convicted felon appointed 3 of these people, and that convicted felon did not win the popular vote.
What's so fascinating about these justices is we know when they were going through their confirmation process, they lied about how they feel about Roe, but now we can compare and contrast what they said in their confirmation hearings versus what they said in this decision they released July 1st.
I believe that no one is above the law under our system, and that includes the president. The president is fully bound by the law, the Constitution, and statutes.
No one is above the law. Au contraire, he wrote the majority opinion where he squarely put someone above the law.
You know, I kind of knew this was going to happen when they delayed and delayed and delayed. And Special Counsel Jack Smith wrote the urgency and the court's ability to turn this around quickly to act for democracy. And that part of the Republican Party that was outraged by Richard Nixon is completely gone.
Gone.
This is a complete fascist party. They are authoritarian, and they see Donald Trump as the man that can help them get power and cling on to it forever. And it's worth noting that this has been decades in the making. They are celebrating like you wouldn't believe about taking the rights away from people and ripping the Constitution up and flushing it down the toilet.
They have zero qualms that they are moving us into fascism. They like it. Another person that lied at their confirmation hearing more than once, but in specific to this moment, Justice Alito.
I don't think the president is above the law. No person in this country, no matter how high or powerful, is above the law.
No one is above the law.
I'd like to point out that over his right shoulder was his psychopath wife.
Crazy ass Martha Ann.
Martha Ann sitting there, and these people are abhorrent and disgusting and are making a mockery of our country. This is wildly dangerous. It is so the exception that they think they are to everybody else in the country, and the exception that they believe that they are, and their convicted felon leader, Donald Trump, is so abhorrent and disgusting. It is amazing to me how much Trump and Alito get off in the media.
I cannot believe it. It is unbelievable. People are not banging the drum all day, every day. It's fascism. I mean, they are destroying democracy single-handedly. The Supreme Court and Trump and his acolytes, the House Republicans that enable Trump. It's just the lying, the corruption at the Supreme Court is jaw-dropping. Here we have Justice Kavanaugh again.
No one's above the law in the United States. That's a foundational principle that I've talked about, coming from Federalist 69, coming from the structure of the Constitution. We're all equal before the law in the United States of America.
So now we know that these hearings don't mean anything.
They don't mean anything. They lie.
That being under oath doesn't mean anything. That the Constitution doesn't mean anything. That the rule of law doesn't mean anything. Nothing but clinging on to patriarchal power means anything to these people because they want a government that only works for them.
And to marginalize other people.
Yes.
Pro them, poor everybody else. Okay, part of the opinion I wanted to highlight from Justice Roberts, who wrote it, and I've highlighted this part. The nature of presidential power requires that a former president have some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his tenure in office. What this does is creates a veil that not only protects official acts, but you cannot, the court, the law, the DOJ cannot inquire as to the motive of the act. And it is presumed that all acts made by the president are official, despite that they might be personal, despite calling for your vice president to be hanged, despite a coup against democracy. This allows a president to be above the law. And another startling part of the opinion is the president may discuss potential investigations and prosecutions with his attorney general and other Justice Department officials to carry out his constitutional duty to take that the laws be faithfully executed. This is twofold a problem. Number one, the president can go in and handpick the cases that are filed against his political opponents. There is no collusion or conspiracy because he has the ability to tell his attorney general who to prosecute. So the independence of the attorney general and the Justice Department has been slashed to hell. And then also, should a president be investigated, it allows the president to go in and make decisions about what should be an independent attorney general and Department of Justice decision. It is for a career criminal like Donald Trump, this is handing him the keys to the kingdom.
You know, they say every accusation is a confession.
That's right.
And Trump always says, we're a third world country. We behave as a third world country. America is a shithole. Well, you know what? You just confessed. All of this is the banana republic that you talk about. All of this is the third world country dictator stuff that you talk about. This is a man who admires Vladimir Putin. This is a man who says on television with cameras all around him that he exchanges love letters with Kim Jong-un. This is so overwhelming and so depressing and so horrifying that we're even sitting here discussing this. But this is the aftermath of Trumpism. Mm-hmm. He got 3 picks. He got 3 of these picks, and he did not even win the popular vote. And that brings me to my point. How many times are the Democrats going to take it? Mm-hmm. How many times we had Bush v. Gore, where the Supreme Court subverted the people's vote, the Democratic vote, and they shut the voting down. And you know who was on the recount team? The Handmaid, Kavanaugh, and I believe one of the others. 3 of them were on George W. Bush's recount team. They have been gaming the system forever. This is DEI for fascists. This is what this is. And the majority of these people have not been appointed by a president that won the popular vote. So my question is for the Democrats, when are you going to fix this? When are we going to say enough is enough? You just gave all of this power to the president. The president right now is Joseph Robinette Biden. What is he going to do with it? Because there needs to be an equal action to this. We cannot just sit around, because we've been sitting around letting the Supreme Court rain hellfire all over democracy since 2000, since Bush v. Gore. We have let them do this, and we sit around, oh, we're going to impeach him. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that. Or we play by the rules. Well, now you have a new set of rules. Mm-hmm. So do something dramatic, appoint more, stack the court. Now's not the time to say, well, then that sets a bad precedent, because they have set bad precedent after bad precedent after bad precedent, and we have to fight back. And it's so unfair always having to be the person, the party that is, oh, we have decorum and all of these things, when they're all crazy all the time. Right. You know, like they ride hard with Trump. I mean, Trump says all this crazy stuff all the time, and they double down. They buy more merch. They buy his, Bible, his sneakers, and all of this stuff. I don't care who's on the Democratic ticket. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I don't care if it's a dead pig. I don't care if it's Gretchen Whitmer. We have to send a message as a country, an electoral mandate, that this is unacceptable, and you don't get to take our country away from us. We still get to have conversations about this. They want to take the right to protest away from people. This ruling is, if you'll remember during the BLM, when Trump was in the White House and there were all the protesters in front of the White House, and he asked, can we shoot them? Shoot them with guns to clear them out. And somebody said, no, you can't do that because that's illegal. So they used, tear gas or whatever it was they used so that Trump could walk across to go stand at that church by the White House to hold up a Bible.
Upside down.
So if Trump's reelected, protesters are going to get shot.
That's right.
And there's nothing anybody can do about it because these 6 people are wildly corrupt, immoral, hypocrites, evil. The most evil third world country shit imaginable are these 6 people. So my thing is, Democrats, this is fire. Fight fire with fire, and now you have the power. Stack the courts, impeach them, do a bunch of shit. Do a bunch of shit for the good of democracy, but don't sit and take it like we have since the year 2000, since Bush v. Gore. Fix this shit and send a huge message that we're not doing this. We're not going to sit around and twiddle our thumbs and think that everything's going to be okay, because it's not.
It's not.
If Trump wins, life as we know it in this country is entirely different, as is the entire world order. And they've tried some of this stuff in other countries. Let's just look at Britain. They voted for Brexit. And this right-wing populism starts coming in. Now everybody regrets it.
Right.
It didn't bode very well for them. We can look at history and figure out how well this played out during World War II. It didn't end very well. The problem is our country and the countries that convicted felon Donald Trump wants to partner with, they have all the nukes. They have all the stuff. So this is going to be a reign of terror that the world has never dealt with weapons that are consolidated with a bunch of evil, crazy people. And it's overwhelming. It absolutely overwhelms me.
It's depressing. It makes me so sad. And it's also, what amazes me about it is 2 of these men should have recused based on their overt religiosity and unethical conduct. But do you think fucking Thomas's wife was part of the coup? He didn't recuse. It's jaw-dropping. Something has got to be done. I feel sorry for the 3 normal people on the Supreme Court, the 3 normal justices that believe in democracy. But all these originalists that say you can have as many guns as you want based on the Constitution just tore up the Constitution and separation of powers.
I also want to point out that Trump and his sycophants are already leaving breadcrumbs as to what they're going to do with the power that these evil 6 people right here potentially gave a convicted felon Trump if he wins. And it is on Truth Social. Somebody said Liz Cheney should be tried in military tribunals. And Donald Trump retruthed that, which is the equivalent of a retweet.
Right.
And it's not front page news anywhere. If Joe Biden did something like that, if a Democrat did something like that, the media would have a stage 5 meltdown. But these people do all of this stuff with impunity all the time. And it just amazes me that the focus is solely on Biden's debate performance. And I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. We all saw what we saw. But at this stage, I will walk through broken glass and do anything and everything in my power to vote for that man over giving these evil, dictatorial, fascist control of this country and the entire world order. I have had it. I'm terrified. I'm borderline depressed over it. We couldn't even film yesterday. We were such a wreck over it. But it's time to stand up and point out every chance we can get on this little YouTube channel of ours how dangerous and psychotic these people are. And a Trump administration, a Trump attorney general, is going to be more evil than all 6 of these people put together.
Completely agree.
All right, stick with us for more hot takes.
It's so